Speaking of followers and following people.
Oh God.
Yikes. There is a young man. There's a young man who is infamous because he followed a woman who was in his apartment, or actually they lived in the same apartment building. He had seen her around, and this brother feels like the proper way to go about asking this woman is to show up to her house unannounced and have a conversation with her through her Ring doorbell system. Now, here at Brewin Black, we do have the footage. We do come with lay receipts. And so we're going to share this video with you, and we're going to analyze it through our perspectives. But we do want to know what y'all think. All right. We really, really do. So let's pull up this video right now, shall we? All right. So here we go, folks. Here we go.
Hello.
I ain't gonna lie, like, you beautiful as hell to me. I was gonna ask, can I, please, like, you beautiful as hell to me.
What? Do you know what time it is?
I'm sorry, but damn, like, I don't be seeing you. Plus, I be going back and forth to school. Cause like I play basketball. I'm trying to make the NBA. I'm in the G League.
No, you're not.
And I do tattoos too. So like, I'm trying to really fuck with you. Like you fun as fuck. Like when I first seen you up here, I like, damn, she fun. I live downstairs. Fuck with me though.
I don't even wear tattoos. I hear you talking.
You said what?
I hear you talking.
I'm for real. Fuck with me.
I hear you.
You won't. I promise you won't regret it. You won't regret fucking with me. I ain't like these other niggas. I got something going for my life for real.
Is that a fact?
For real, fuck. Come here so you can get my number. My phone dead. I'm gonna give you my number.
That's a red flag right there.
I ain't even at home.
Where you at? I thought you was at home like her.
Not where you at.
But just get my number from. I just get my number.
How I'm getting them on doing something? Pushing on.
I thought you get it from your phone. Huh?
It's gonna take this off if I move it.
I'm gonna just write it on the sheet of paper and put it up under your mat.
All right.
All right, 60.
Oh God.
So bad, bro.
That is yikes. So, the comedian Drewski, he's talking about the messy tongue. Shout out to I don't know you could, who's the guy who shared this post. He's talking about big for real stalker vibes. So there's a bunch of things here, man. Bunch of things. I guess I want to start off by saying I don't believe you're into the G League. I don't know.
I didn't even see no tattoos.
Yeah, I don't know if I believe you do tattoos. I don't know if I believe you're in school, and she shouldn't come fuck with you. I don't support that. I think it might be very, very dangerous for her to come and fuck with you. You know what I mean? So that's my thing. That's why I stand with it. But T, let's do this. We got to break this down for brothers, right? Because there are some people who are just like, all right, look, the man might not have made the right approach, but he was doing something sweet. He didn't know how to get at the young lady and da. And I think that this is a thing where we got to talk to our cisgender men.
Mm-hmm.
Look, y'all. And we'll get into this more a little bit later in the show, but like, women can't trust men who are supposed to have normal interactions with them. And so you got to remember, some men have followed and stalked women. Women have, kindly and politely said no. And they have been just like assaulted and killed all within the same day and time span. And so you can never assume that a woman should look at you as the one guy who couldn't be a serial killer or a sexual assaulter, any type of predator, to be quite honest. And so you can never make that assumption. And so someone pulling up to your door, unannounced, uninvited, a stranger
At
saying, let, yeah, right. Saying, yo, let me get your contact information and access to you. That's always a little creepy. And I'm gonna tell you something, fellas. You have to let it you have to let things happen naturally and organically with women. And if it can't happen that way, you don't want it, because you're either one, too pressed, and or she really don't want you. So if you love yourself, why would you put yourself through all those hoops for a woman who clearly doesn't want you? I'm gonna tell y'all a story. All right. I was in a grocery store the other day. Okay. It was a midnight run. I was out of Ralph's. If you're in California, you know what I'm talking about. If you're in the South, you in the Northeast, the Ralph's is basically, they might have some in the Northeast, but it's basically like your grocery store, your regional grocery store. And it was midnight. I had just turned up a little bit. I was there for a midnight dinner, wanted to get a frozen pizza or whatever. And there was a woman who was working in the cheese aisle. And I was like, ooh, the cheese, that woman in the cheese aisle is bad. And I was like, ooh, should I try to make an excuse to like hit on her or whatever? And I circled around the area, like right beside the cheese area. And I was like, you know what? Nah, it's a little weird. It's midnight. I'm like in here trying to get a midnight snack. This woman is trying to work. Let me leave this woman alone. Now, imagine had I waited until it closed at 2 a.m. and then been waiting outside for her talking about, let me get your number. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Fuck with me though. You know what I'm saying? I'm in a PhD program. Fuck with me though. You know, I'm the president of the Black Graduate Student Association. Fuck with me though. I know it's 2 a.m. I know I've been watching you at the cheese place for 2 hours. I know I waited outside at your car because I figured out which car was yours because of my weird ass calculation. Fuck with me though. Let me get your number. It doesn't work, fellas. It doesn't work. If it's not natural, if it's not organic, and if you feel like if you're in a situation where like you miss out on an opportunity to interact with the woman, you got to chuck that up to the wind and say, hey, look, if it's meant to be, we'll cross paths again. Exactly. We'll cross paths again. You know what I'm saying? I still haven't seen that cheese lady to this day, and I'm okay. You live. You're fine. Yeah. You're fine. And so, and I think this man had a much better chance of seeing this woman in person. Watch and he says he sees her all the time, which is also probably a little bit concerning because we don't know if he naturally passes her or if he's watching her ass all the time, right? But I gotta say this to the fellas, like if you can't naturally run across a woman, then like it's probably not the move.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. If you don't pass her organically and naturally on your day to day, like you should probably just let it go because you're gonna come off as a creep.
Yeah.
And this guy, whether his intentions are good or not, the impact is that he's infamous, right? And T-Shaw actually has some tea on this gentleman, because you know T-Shaw is our resident researcher here at Brewin Black. We love him for it because he be coming with the actual receipts. So T, take it over, man. Tell the people what you think and also give us some inside information of what we might not know about this gentleman.
Yeah, bro. Like, and I feel almost like I feel icky myself because when I first watched the video, I was just like, dog just kind of weird. He just kind of awkward. But then it's like the more I've watched the video and the more that I've thought about the details surrounding it, it's like, no, this is more than just weird. This is just like the fact that it's so weird makes it dangerous, I think. Like when we think about the time frame, right? It's super early in the morning. It's him kind of pacing back and forth in front of the door and then finally ringing it. And then just straight up lying. He goes on this just straight up lie. I found another video. He's not in the G League. He's not in any of this stuff. He actually posted a video of his friend interviewing him. And he made up this story about how some girl or how that girl actually in that apartment stole his phone or her dude stole his phone. And that he was just waiting to her to open up the door so he can get his phone back, and then he was gonna go because he you know when you track your phone that the phone said it was there. But bro, like this is my thing. If you lived in downstairs, it could have been easily in your apartment because we know that ain't nobody phone like, oh, we're on the 3rd floor, the elevation is 300 feet. Like no. It says it shows you a general location, and it could have been in that whole complex, right? Because they usually give you that big circle. So we know that that's truly a lie. And we go on. I continue to kind of follow the threads on Twitter, follow the trends, follow the receipts, and I came across a number of women saying, "Oh, that's that dude Dalvin. Yeah, he took someone's number off of their credit application. They were applying for a credit card. He took it off their application and was trying to text her." There was another woman he tried to convince that he did tattoos and he wanted her to come over so he can kind of talk to her about tattoos and stuff. So there's a history of this predatory behavior. And I think again, when we start to think about like the implications around his approach, we understand how weird it is. I want y'all to put yourselves in that position. That's when I really started to realize, because I'm like, okay, yeah, he's just a little odd, but it's like, would I ever do that? Like, oh, absolutely not. Because it's socially unacceptable to do something like that. So you can understand why someone would feel scared. Just early, or no, just late August, I think August 31st, Instagram model named Mercedes Moore was just killed by a stalker. She was strangled in her own Houston apartment. So it's like there's reasons to be afraid when someone comes up to your door unannounced, uninvited, and just like, hey, fuck with me. I think you're beautiful. I think you're beautiful as hell. I've been watching you, right? Because it's like, I put myself on like a college campus and seeing the girl that I'm attracted to, right? Like you might see her around and stuff, and you might try to force yourself to cross her path, but anything more than that is extremely aggressive. I even think about like, I think about seeing someone at the gym, right? And I think that this is where we have to start to talk about what harassment really is and like what are the steps of harassment. If you at the gym and you see a woman that's attractive, do you think it's appropriate to stop her mid workout as she doing her thing and just like start to talk to her? Like, nah, you were uninvited. Like, unless y'all continue to make eye contact and she also put herself in crossing your path, like y'all working on the same area every time. Like, you have to have enough social cues to like, okay, let's strike this up. I know in the club, if you keep like making eye contact with somebody, then that's something where you can go like, oh, okay, like the body language is there. But it's like you can hear it in her tone. He like, oh, you fuck with me. And she like, yeah, yeah. I hear you. You talking. You talking. She didn't even say I hear you. She's saying you talking. Like she's saying like I don't want to hear none of this.
Right.
She like, oh, come get my number. I'm not home. That's strike one. Come get my number. Or especially when he was like, his phone is off. It's like, bro, like that don't even make no sense. And then it's like you want to put your number under like the mat, but she didn't even want to leave the app to come like get your number, right? So there's just so many like cues. If you were a stable individual, like I think that then there was enough context clues where you like, okay, let me stop this. This is a bad look. I'm looking a little thirsty. And I think as men, to be better brothers, I think we have to start to be looking at these social cues and not making people uncomfortable. Because when you make them feel uncomfortable, there's a very fine line of feeling uncomfortable and then feeling like at risk, in danger.
Right.
And I think that like he crosses this line and there's a privacy. And I go on a look, and the woman that was in the apartment, she's put up a GoFundMe. And I think for me, this is even a keep it a bean moment, because when I first saw the video and then I saw the GoFundMe a few hours later, I was like, okay, maybe this is extreme. Like, do you really need a GoFundMe? Because she was talking about trying to break her lease to like move somewhere else. And the thing doesn't mention any other events, but this is being the one, and that her privacy was blown, and then she has some young children and it's too dangerous, and then she's been keeping her couch against the door. And I'm like, is this dramatic? But then I have to put myself in that situation as a young mother with young kids. Like, you don't know what these people are willing to do. Somebody coming up to your door like that, they know where you live already. Like, I completely understand now. So I think that it's male privilege for me to be like, oh, girl, you be cool. He's just a weirdo, right? Like, no, like women are often like in danger. Women are often targets of sexual assault, physical assault. When they reject men, they're violence, just pure violence. So for me, this is a very vulnerable and keep it a beam moment to like be able to check that initial impulse. Like, I shouldn't have needed that other information. The fact that she felt in danger probably meant that she was in danger. And I think for us and just us as men, especially cis het men, like we have to be able to do this. And this is calling back to the last episode. This is a part of protecting Black women. And these are the steps we have to kind of go through.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. So no, and I love that point that you made. Like her privacy is breached. And like we saw how aggressive he was when she wasn't even in front of him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like imagine if she like would have come outside like and or engaged with him at all in person. Like it's just completely dangerous. And like now his homeboys like no, like the internet knows. And like we don't, and like people are probably trying to do research to see what she looks like now and all sorts of stuff. So no, I totally agree. And like you said, like Dr. Davis said, this is where our role comes in. Like, like nah, like she needs to move and you know, like support that GoFundMe because it's like now things are sort of tainted. So fellas, we got to do better. Check your homeboy, whoever. What's that guy's name? What's his name?
Dalvin.
Do better. If you family and friends of Dalvin, get this young brother together. I don't know how many other people he's harassed or done this to, but get him together before he does something that's that can't be changed or fixed if he hasn't already. And I think our main goal is to prevent Dalvins from forming and manifesting.
Absolutely.
Right.
Check your homeboys. I think that's the main idea, or at least the last thing we want to leave you with, because we all have friends that are extra thirsty. I remember going to the club and being with some friends and they were on the prowl the whole night. They're hitting circles. They trying to talk to anything and hit anything moving. It's like those are the people that y'all gotta check, because it's like that's what makes people uncomfortable. That's how that beast starts to be unleashed.